Imagine watching an animated film without lighting. The characters would appear flat, the backgrounds would lack depth. The entire scene would feel dull and lifeless. Light breathes life into animation. It transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Lighting is a powerful tool for storytellers. It sets the mood, defines the time of day, and reveals the shape and form of characters and objects. Just like a painter uses brushstrokes, animators use light to create stunning and immersive worlds. It can make a scene feel happy, sad, scary, or mysterious. Without lighting, animation is just a collection of moving images. But with the clever use of light and shadow, these images come alive. They evoke emotions, tell stories, and transport us to new and exciting worlds. Have you ever noticed how different lighting can make you feel different emotions? A brightly lit room can feel cheerful and inviting. A dimly lit room might feel cozy and intimate, or perhaps a little eerie. Light has a powerful effect on our emotions, and animators use this to their advantage. Warm, soft light is often used to create a happy and inviting atmosphere. Think of a sunny day at the park or a cozy living room with a fireplace. These scenes often use yellow, orange, and red tones to evoke feelings of warmth and happiness. On the other hand, cool, hard light can create a sense of unease or tension. Imagine a dark alleyway lit by a single street light, or a sterile laboratory bathed in fluorescent light. These scenes often use blue, green, and white tones to create a colder, more clinical feel. Lighting is not just about creating a mood, it's also about revealing the shape and form of characters and objects. Without light, everything would appear flat and two-dimensional. Light and shadow give objects their three-dimensionality, making them feel real and tangible. Imagine a simple sphere. If you shine a light directly at it, it will appear flat and shapeless. But if you move the light to the side, shadows will be cast, revealing the sphere's curves and contours. This interplay of light and shadow is what gives objects their form. Animators use a variety of lighting techniques to define form. They might use a single strong light source to create dramatic shadows, or multiple softer light sources to create a more subtle and nuanced effect. One of the biggest challenges in animation is creating a sense of depth. When you look at the world around you, your brain uses various visual cues to judge distance and depth. Animators use lighting to recreate these cues and trick your brain into seeing a flat image as three-dimensional. One way to create depth is by using atmospheric perspective. In the real world, distant objects appear lighter and less detailed due to the scattering of light in the atmosphere. Animators can mimic this effect by making distant objects in a scene lighter and less saturated than objects in the foreground. Another technique is to use overlapping elements. When one object partially obscures another, our brains interpret this as depth. Animators can use this to their advantage by strategically placing objects in a scene to create a sense of layering and depth. Section 5. Directing the eye, the language of light. Our eyes are naturally drawn to light. Animators use this to their advantage by using light to direct the viewer's attention to specific areas of a scene. This is called visual hierarchy. By carefully controlling the brightness, color, and direction of light, animators can guide the viewer's eye through the story. Imagine a character standing in a spotlight on a dark stage. The spotlight immediately draws our attention to the character, making them the focal point of the scene. This technique is often used to highlight important characters, objects, or actions. Light can also be used to create visual contrast by juxtaposing areas of high contrast with areas of low contrast. Animators can create visual interest and guide the viewer's eye through the scene. Section 6. The illusion of motion, keyframe lighting. Just like characters and objects in animation, light itself can be animated. This is called keyframe lighting. By changing the intensity, color, or position of a light source over time, animators can create the illusion of movement and add a whole new level of dynamism to a scene. Imagine a flickering candle flame. To animate this, an animator would set keyframes for the candle's light intensity and color. At one keyframe, the flame might be bright and yellow. At the next keyframe, it might be dimmer and more orange. By smoothly transitioning between these keyframes, the animator creates the illusion of a flickering flame. Keyframe lighting is also used to create more complex effects such as lightning strikes, explosions, and magical spells. Section 7. Lighting, automation, scripts, and efficiency. Lighting complex scenes can be a time-consuming process. To streamline their workflow, animators often use lighting scripts. These are pre-programmed commands that automate repetitive lighting tasks. For example, imagine an animator needs to light a forest scene with hundreds of trees. Instead of manually placing and adjusting lights for each tree, they could use a script to automatically generate and position the lights based on the position and size of each tree. Lighting scripts can save animators hours of work, allowing them to focus on the creative aspects of lighting rather than the technical details. Section 8. Simulating reality, bringing light to life. Modern animation software is capable of simulating how light behaves in the real world. This is called lighting simulation, and it allows animators to create incredibly realistic and believable lighting effects. For instance, imagine a scene with a glass of water on a table. With lighting simulation, the animator can accurately simulate how light refracts through the water, creating realistic caustics or patterns of light on the table surface. Lighting simulation can also be used to create other realistic effects, such as subsurface scattering, the way light penetrates and scatters beneath the surface of translucent objects, global illumination, the way light bounces and reflects off surfaces in a scene, an ambient occlusion, the subtle shadows that occur where surfaces meet. Section 9. Mastering lighting tips for success. Mastering lighting for animation takes time and practice, but there are some key tips that can help you on your journey. Keep it simple. Start with a basic lighting setup and add complexity as needed. Use reference images. Look at real-life photographs and films for inspiration. Experiment. Don't be afraid to try different lighting techniques and styles. Collaborate. Talk to other departments such as modeling and texturing to ensure your lighting complements their work. Learn the software. Familiarize yourself with the lighting tools in your chosen software package. Remember, lighting is more than just illuminating a scene. It's about storytelling, creating emotion, and bringing your animation to life.